All right, everyone. I was not planning on being out today, so we're going to be doing directions through a Screencastify video today. As I mentioned to you guys last week, you are going to be starting on your final project for this unit. We know that we've been looking at, our flow chart is on the screen. We know that by our life choices, we are increasing the carbon dioxide, we are increasing the methane in the atmosphere, which redirects that energy back into our environment, causing more energy to be coming in than leaving, which means our total energy in the Earth system is greater, causing our temperatures to rise and therefore the ice to melt. So the final piece of our puzzle in purple over on the flow chart is, so what can we do? How can we reduce our carbon footprint so that we are not contributing to this damaging effect of the carbon and the methane? Last Thursday, you went through and you completed this half sheet of paper about your carbon footprint. You used the link that was in Google Classroom. So those of you who weren't there last Thursday, or you didn't turn this page in, or you didn't finish it, this link was found in Google Classroom. You're going to use this. And as you go through it, again, you're coming up with ways you can reduce your carbon footprint. How large is your annual carbon footprint? Why does America have so much? What percentage are you in? How many earths, and then how many trees, and et cetera. So if for some reason you do not get this half sheet of paper returned to you, it was never turned into the class tray. And so if you don't have it, you need to start there because that's really going to help you get set up for this final project. We're really focusing on this top part here. Things that we can do to reduce our carbon footprint. Okay. So our infographic that you're going to be working on now, today you're just going to do the planning pieces of it. Tomorrow you'll be working on the infographic piece. So take a look at the piece of paper that was passed out to you, minimizing human impact on the environment. And the directions just read. Throughout this week, you will be researching environmental problems and the consequences created by humans. You will select one problem to focus on. We're going to be focusing on that carbon footprint. You're going to research it in depth. You're going to develop an action plan to help minimize or lessen your human impact. And then you'll create a final visual that includes all of your information gathered and developed. So we're working on this today and tomorrow. And then just again, looking at our agenda, and then that means on Wednesday, you're going to then have your review day, and then Thursday is your test, just as an FYI. But if you remember when we first started this unit, we said that as we went through and acted as climatologists, part of our job was to educate the public about what's going on and the climate change and what we can do to fix it. So that's really what this project is all about. So for today, I'm going to go through all the directions, but for today, this is what your task is all about. You're going to research why a large carbon footprint is a negative. And I know we've been talking about this, but you're going to go deeper. You're going to look more specifically at statistics and find out why specific things are so negative and so impactful. And then you're going to start creating your action plan to minimize your carbon footprint. Now, we're going to be very specific here. We're not just looking at, okay, a carbon footprint is negative because when you completed this, you wrote down 3 things to reduce your carbon footprint. You're going to be really focusing on one action that you are doing. So looking at these 3 things, for example, let's say you wrote down that you are going to have meatless Mondays, then that's the one topic you're going to be focusing on is that consumerism with our livestock and how that's impacting our carbon footprint. So everything you're doing is not about the general look of what carbon footprint is about, but it's going to be your specific thing from those 3 things. Pick one, and you're going to really dive deeper into that. So you're going to research one of your things. What specifically are you doing, and how is that contributing to the negative carbon footprint? And then what can you do to kind of help lessen that, minimize it? Okay. So the expectations for today, you need to find 2 statistics about your specific problem. So again, if we're talking meatless Mondays, we're talking about the overproduction of livestock and how that's contributing to what's going on. You need to find 2 negative statistics about that. So you would not tell me that, Americans throw away 4.5 pounds of waste a day. You need to find something about the livestock. Okay. Your action plan needs to be realistic. So it reflects an understanding of what your problem is, what's causing it, and the systems that are in place that are kind of causing it. You'll notice this next one says, strives not to harm people, animals, or the environment, right? And so the reason why we put this on here is if for example, we're talking about garbage, you would not tell me, oh, let's just burn all the garbage so it's not in the landfills. That's going to harm the environment. Burning all of that waste is then releasing toxic gases into our atmosphere. So that's not going to be a positive solution. So we need to find a solution, an action plan that's not going to harm any people or animals or the environment. And then also working to really transform systems. This is not a one and done. This is how can we regularly do this exact task so that we're reducing that minimum, that carbon footprint. Your assignment in class today is going to be to fill in the back of this planning guide, or the back of this worksheet, which is the planning guide. I'm going to show that to you in just a moment. Okay. Then tomorrow, and I should be back tomorrow, then tomorrow on the 9th, you're going to start working on your visual. Now, this is not our first infographic. So you guys know at this point, slides work, hand-drawn posters work, Canva, Google Drawing, Chrome Canvas, any of those are going to work. You're going to create your visual, and your graphics, again, should support your action plan. If you're talking about livestock, you're not going to give me a picture of planting trees. Those two things don't go together. It does say no copied and pasted whole images. It's one thing if you're finding a picture of a cow. It's another if you find somebody who's already created this action plan about the quantity of livestock and you just snippet their whole poster. You can piecemeal images together. You can copy and paste and overlap and build your own graphic, but you're not going out and finding somebody else's poster. Okay. And then it's not shared with you today. It will be shared with you on Tuesday. Again, we're going to download that infographic as a PDF. I will share those videos with you again, how to download it from Canva or any of our Google products. And then you're going to upload that onto the Padlet so that we can see it on there. Okay. So your activity for class today, again, if you did not get this half sheet of paper back, if you were absent for it, you didn't complete it, whatever the case may be, you need to start with this. You're going to go to the link in Google Classroom from April 4th. As you click through, you're going to answer all these questions and so on and so on. And at the end of that, you're going to receive 3 things you can do to reduce your footprint. You'll click the next button, which I think is like a bright pink button in the middle of the screen, so that you can fill in the rest of this half sheet of paper. Once you have that half sheet of paper, you're going to then select one of the things that you're specifically going to focus on. I keep going to the livestock quantity, but a specific thing that you are doing, that's your problem. What is it that you are doing that's contributing to the carbon in our atmosphere? You're going to research and